What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun, and joining me, as always, is part centaur, part Pegasus, Mr. Ciara Lawler.
I want to fly, but I also like the maze.
You like the maze?
Is that right? The Senator?
You're thinking of the Minotaur.
Oh, so
it's
close.
A subtle difference.
So close.
Centaur has like the front half of a man and the back half of a horse, and a Pegasus is a horse with wings.
And what's a Minotaur?
Minotaur is a man who's a bull. There was a male, and Perseus walked through with some thread so that he could find his way out of the maze after slaying the Minotaur.
This is what this week's Hero or Zero is. You're just telling me.
So I am doing my report on the Minotaur this week.
Ooh!
No, Connor, look, this is the show where we take one comic book character every single week, give people a bit of a rundown of their good points, their bad points. I normally take Marvel characters. You normally take DC characters. Now, last week you did a very powerful, very overpowered, I would say, character called Scythona.
I would say a character more powerful than whatever shit Marvel character you've come up with this week.
Connor, but I have home field advantage here because it's the spooky season.
Oh, fuck, and so I forgot.
We're going to do a bit of a spooky character today. Also gives me a very good excuse to talk about something really interesting in comics that basically affected a lot of stories for decades. So, The character I'm talking about today, he's called Kantu the Living Mummy. Okay? So, spooky and shit.
I'm my level of spook quite low currently, so I'm hoping it picks up. It's a spooky season.
Well, then beforehand, let me tell you all about the Comics Code Authority, Connor.
Oh, my spook level has risen dramatically.
It's through the roof, ladies and gentlemen.
Not the Comics Code.
So the Comics Code was basically set up to regulate the content in comic books between kind of the 50s to the 70s. Basically, they realised a lot of young people are reading these comics, so maybe there should be some rules about what you can print.
My only evidence of this is Batman in, say, the 50s and 60s was just going around hanging people. Well, that's more the 40s. And he was just, like, breaking bones. But then for a lot of the 70s, or around that time, he's fighting a lot of aliens. Because he can beat the shit out of an alien, and kids won't care.
Because they're not human. Exactly. Yeah. Like, there's a few rules about the Comics Code Authority. Like, you can never be sympathetic to a criminal. That's one of the rules that it's set out. Policemen, judges, government officials, and respected institutions shall never be presented in a way such as to create disrespect for established authority.
Has that created some sort of weird current event situation that maybe we're seeing the results of?
Who can say, ladies and gentlemen?
I hate judges.
But from the 50s to 70s, absolutely forbidden. And then this is the most important one for this particular report, is that scenes dealing with or instruments associated with Walking Dead, torture, vampires and vampirism, ghouls, cannibalism and werewolfism are prohibited by the Comics Code Authority. Created a big issue for a writer named Marv Wolfman because you had to print the name Wolfman on the front of every comic.
A writer, by the way, Marv Wolfman, who created Blade, or was involved with the creation of Blade, who we are covering on our Lazarus Pit Patreon show this weekend, Shaun.
Almost as if it's all tied together, folks.
It's not. It definitely isn't.
It's really not, guys. But the Comics Code Authority basically became defunct in 1971. And this opened the door to a whole bunch of creators to do whatever they wanted. We got things like Morbius the Living Vampire. Kantu the Living Mummy, who we're covering today, came out in 1973. So he was basically hot off the tails of the Comics Code Authority. And by his story...
Actually, isn't it fucking ridiculous that Marv Wolfman wasn't allowed to write his own name because they had Wolfman?
That'll corrupt people, surely.
What about the kids, Marv? Think of the kids.
I have kids. I'm a regular man.
It's Timmy Wolfman. That's my son.
Murderous Wolfman, my daughter. So we're beginning our story, Connor, 3,000 years ago in ancient Egypt.
Nice.
So during the reign of Pharaoh Aram, I'm going to butcher a lot of names in this, by the way.
I'm only expecting that. My spook levels are rising.
So the Pharaoh Aram Set was ruling Egypt. And during his rule, Egypt enslaved hundreds of sub-Saharan Africans of the Swahili tribe. Among them was the Swahili chieftain Kantu. So Kantu was the son of the warrior chief known as Tchombe, and by the age of 21, he endured a rite of passage known as the Test of the Lion. Basically, you might be able to work it out by the name. He single-handedly slew a lion.
Slew?
And
Slew.
Slayed? Slew?
Slew.
He
I
slew a
don't think
lion.
slew sounds right.
Slew's definitely a worse. So before we go any further, ladies
How would
and
you spell
gentlemen.
slew? S-L-E-Y.
S-L-E-W.
Oh. That's not right, is it?
Slew. He slew thousands of foes.
I feel like I'm really dumb if it is.
Past tense
Because you're
of
smarter than
slay.
me. So
I
I'm
don't
going
know
to
if I
have to
am.
go with that.
Present tense slay. Past tense slew.
When was the last time anyone else used slew?
Why is this what we're getting hung up on? This dude is called the Living Mummy, and you've not addressed it yet.
It's too close to stew. It's too close to my heart.
And I love stew, Shaun.
I'm Irish, Shaun. I love stew.
Okay, how about this? By single-handedly slaying a lion,
Thank you.
he proved his mettle to the tribe and was considered a warrior. Upon his father's death, Kantu succeeded him as chieftain of the Swahili tribe. Many months later, the armies of Aram Set, the pharaoh, raided the local villages, capturing hundreds of natives and pressuring them into slavery. Being that he was the strongest among the Swahili, Kantu got the hardest treatment. So he was kept in chains and forced to endure days upon days upon days upon weeks upon months upon years of hard labour.
That time span got longer every word you said.
It's a dramatic effect, Connor.
I like it at the start. I was like, days. I mean, that's not that bad. Oh, days and days.
It gets worse. So the pharaoh tried his hardest to break Kantu's spirit, but the chieftain's strength and resolve made him a leader to his people. So he basically was just like, look, this is a terrible situation. We're going to get out of it. We'll figure a way out. We just need time. We just need to plan. He also encountered the necromancer named Raxes, who worked for the pharaoh, and they became just enemies. Basically, Raxes treated him like shit. Kantu was like, you're a prick. And so they don't like each other.
I assume that's how the conversation went.
Yeah, and so every night Kantu would gather the tribe together. He'd raise them from their pain and despair with words of hope and offer a promise of escape. Before long, the whole tribe was ready to shake off the shackles of slavery and lead a bloody revolt against the armies of the pharaoh.
Shake off the shackles of slavery is a fucking great sentence.
Isn't it fucking great?
I am ready to shake. I wasn't ready yesterday, but today I am ready.
That alliteration is brought into the mix.
Now I'm ready to shake off this slavery.
And so Kantu actually threw a spear and hit the pharaoh like dead in the chest, like killed him immediately.
So he's killed the pharaoh who was keeping them all prisoner.
Exactly. He entered the temple of the pharaoh, where he confronted Nephrus, the royal wizard. Okay?
Right,
Now,
okay. They've got a necromancer and a wizard.
Yeah, it's weird. I think they do work together, to be fair.
They'd have to. Do you think there's like different paperwork? I said I was going to do that spell. What the fuck, man?
Or maybe it's like one is slightly below the other, so it's like, Nephrus will deal with that. I'm going home.
I'm just going to delegate the shit magic to him.
The shit magic. However, Nephrys was prepared for Kantu's treachery, his rebellion, and he splashed him with a chemical agent causing immediate paralysis of Kantu's limbs.
Oh, okay. That's not good.
Not good at all. He brought him down to a private dungeon laboratory where he bound him with linen and injected him with a special fluid, Connor. Now, fluid in Marvel Comics generally always does the same thing.
By any chance, would another word for the fluid be known as serum?
Some kind of serum, exactly. I like that you're catching on.
Everyone wants to be clear. What do we know about Captain America? Do the same thing. Go on.
But actually, this fluid or serum actually granted Kantu immortality.
Oh, okay.
However, it came at the price of his mobility. So he was paralysed, but immortal.
Okay.
Nephrys,
that's actually quite... The spook level is quite high. That seems quite torturous.
Oh, this came out just after the code was removed. It's horrifying, Connor.
Okay, good.
And so Nephrys sealed him inside of a sarcophagus, promising that he would suffer as a living mummy for all eternity.
And if I'm writing it and you're going to go all fucked up, you bring in all of his people one by one and let them watch while they, murder one by one everyone, and then go, now we're going to put you in.
And look, that might have been the plan, Connor. But moments after... They delegated it down.
Well, I'm clocking off. Where's the fucking necromancer? Fuck this.
The student can do that one. They'll be fine. They'll figure it out.
I'm senior necromancer, actually, so I kind of have a sway here. Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, by name.
He's been there long enough that it would be too much work to fire him. But, and look, that's a great idea that you had. Horrifying for the people and for Kantu. But unfortunately, moments after Kantu had been entombed, a great earthquake struck and devastated the temple.
Okay.
This killed Nephrys and buried Kantu for centuries. So,
I mean, okay, I understand what you're saying, just in terms of a storyline, but also that doesn't really impact him whatsoever, if we're really thinking about it. He would have been stuck in a tomb and nobody was dead. Now he's stuck in a tomb and everybody's dead.
That's true, but what you realise, you and you've kind of hit the point there, is that he's trapped in a tomb, Connor, and he's immortal.
Yeah.
So, unable to move, trapped, Kantu went insane as centuries slowly passed.
Yeah, that makes sense. You would go insane.
You'd flip out a little bit.
Anyone sit in the doctor's waiting room for 10 minutes and your phone's dead.
You're tapping your leg, you're looking at your watch.
Looking around like, oh, fuck, is he sick? What's the deal with waiting rooms, by the way, in the doctors? You always walk in, there's always a guy like, how are you, Tom? Oh, I'm grand, yeah. I'm always like, how do these two old men, surely one of them's sick. Why are you here, Tom?
I feel Tom and Tim, they wouldn't divulge that information in public,
Imagine they were like honest. No, I'm not feeling great now, Tom. Fuck
no, the syphilis is back,
They've taken both my legs. Well, they're gonna...
Can you lose a leg to syphilis? Is that a thing?
You can lose a leg to a lot of things, Shaun.
Big guillotine, that'll do it.
Guillotine? That'd be a quick way to do it, though.
Yeah, if you had to choose a way to lose a leg, yeah.
A leg can keep kicking for up to 10 seconds after being guillotined.
That's bullshit. That's actual bullshit.
That's bullshit. It's a head. Never mind.
So, and look, the wiki said several years ago, but what they really mean is in the 70s.
Yeah, okay.
The fluid that kept Kantu immobile began to wear off. And
that's handy.
The crazed living mummy clawed his way to freedom and began terrorising the streets of Cairo.
Spooky.
This was right up until he came upon the home of archaeologist Dr. Alexei Scarab. Okay, great name for an archaeologist.
First of all, a fucking fantastic name for an archaeologist.
There was something about Scarab that seemed familiar to Kantu.
And his best friend, Johnny Treasure.
Jesus Christ. And Billy Dig.
Billy Dig. Frank Shovel.
It would not be for some time that he would discover that Dr. Scarab was actually the descendant of the evil wizard Nephrys.
What
Connor.
are the fucking chances? Fuck off.
Stay local, never leave the vicinity.
Never left. I thought everyone died in an earthquake.
But apparently Nephrys was just riding about.
He was living off site. He was commuting.
He was commuting in. Exactly. The living mummy then rampaged around the streets. The police tracked him down and opened fire on him. While he found the bullets extremely painful, they weren't enough to even slow the mummy down.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Because he's immortal. Like, he'll heal. It's fine. He tore down a telephone pole, intending to use it as a weapon, but the resulting backlash of electricity ravaged his body. Best line in comics, seemingly killing him.
Oh, he's definitely dead. I'm assuming he's dead. Seemingly.
He's already died once, Connor.
Ooh, you can't kill him out who's already dead, can you?
You can't. Now, I know what you're thinking, Connor. Most of Marvel Comics takes place within New York City.
I would assume, yes. And did he go to the same university that everyone else did?
Actually, you're going to fucking like
off.
This. So, remember Dr. Scarab?
College.
Dr. Scarab took responsibility for the mummy's remains and sold them to Dr. Carol Harter, a curator of a museum in New York City.
Okay.
At the museum, the living mummy revived once again, broke free of the crate that he had been shipped in, and left the museum and began wandering the streets of Manhattan.
Oh, now he's in New York. It's even more dangerous.
He's in New York. Now, he kind of comes to terms with things. He's there's a really it's a heartbreaking panel where he realises that everyone he knows...
I would have preferred LA, but the Big Apple, I suppose.
East Coast, whatever, winters
East
are
Coast,
tough,
West Coast. I mean, yeah, I know, yeah. And obviously apartments are very expensive here, but
Brooklyn,
I suppose I can make it work.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But there's this comic panel where, in Kantu, as the mummy, he realises what he is. He realises how much time has passed. And he realises that everyone he knows and loved is long fucking dead.
Yeah.
And he comes to terms with it.
So long that nobody can even remember that they existed.
Yeah, it is ancient history. During this time, he decides to he fights evil, Connor, this living mummy. He's a good guy. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And he teams up with the Thing at one point. And they kind of bond over being quote unquote monsters and shit like that. Shortly after the events of Civil War, he actually fought against Iron Man in Civil War. So he was against superhuman registration, which makes sense for a man who is from the past.
How did they get that out of him? That stance.
It's a whole thing.
Lads, no, I don't want to be writing me autograph for me signature and anything. I have to read it through first. This is fucking ridiculous.
No one speaks hieroglyphs anymore. It's really awkward.
I have to release my identity. I don't want to do it. I'm after working really hard on this mask. I don't really want to give it up.
Shortly after the events of Civil War, he was approached by the Egyptian lord of the underworld, Anubis. Okay?
That is lucky. That is lucky that he's
if you had to pick someone. You had to pick a god. Because he was trying to end his undying, his eternal life. Kantu had had enough at this point. Knowing that Kantu sought an end to his existence, Anubis agreed to give him a peaceful death. But only after a period of personal servitude. So, basically, Anubis a load of gods are real in Marvel Comics. It's absolutely wild. And Anubis requires human souls to maintain his strength. So what he did is he basically picks a herald and is like, in Kantu, you will bring me these human souls. And that generally involves murder. Okay. Now, Anubis and Kantu being a good guy, not thrilled about that. But he agreed to serve Anubis, but he vowed that he would only take the souls of evil men.
Right. Okay. I get the logic.
Yeah. And that's that's fairly recent, that whole thing. He hasn't really done much in comics since. He's kind of like a discount Ghost Rider in a lot of ways.
And the first thing I thought of was Ghost Rider. Like he's given up his soul to a devil, and he's just working for the devil.
Yeah, I can totally see him popping up in like Moon Knight stories and shit like that, because they have all the Egyptian stuff covered. But that's where basically the story portion of this report ends, and we go into the powers and abilities, which all basically stem from the formula that he was given 3,000 years ago.
Never didn't change much. I mean, no matter how far back you go in Marvel, somebody's been given a formula.
There's always a formula.
Always.
So he has superhuman strength. He can lift up to 4.5 tons. That is despite millennia of inactivity and decay to his muscles.
He hasn't been clanging and banging in the gym. He was asleep, but he's still able to lift it.
His body basically doesn't produce fatigue toxins, so he has unreal stamina. He has superhuman durability. The tissues in his body are much harder and more resistant to conventional physical harm. However, he does still feel pain. So that's a big thing, is that like he feels everything that's happening to him. It just doesn't affect him.
Okay.
He can't be killed through physical means, so he's functionally immortal. He's also immune to all known diseases and infections. He doesn't need food, water, or air. He can survive in a vacuum and presumably in space. And he has gained the ability to draw souls from sentient beings. Usually...
That's pretty good.
Pretty good, I would say. Usually he needs to take that person's life to do so. He's also a trained Swahili warrior, as we said. However, while the strength, stamina, and durability are really superhuman and like enhanced, his natural speed, agility, and reflexes are all below normal human levels because of the years of decay and atrophy.
You have to be in the gym working constantly. You can't just take 5,000 years off, Shaun. You have to be in there.
That's what I've been saying. You can't just phone it in. You have to do arm day and leg day.
He's been on that agility ladder non-stop. Now, if he was there, his agility would be working his way up. But he took the time off. You can't be doing that lying down. It's going to get back to you.
You have to be doing like those bar things that they have at the intro to Arrow, you know?
Oh, you have to... By the way, that wouldn't help your agility. Just to let you know.
No, but...
it looks cool.
It looks class. Great as an intro. And just very quickly then on his Marvel 1 to 7 rating system, durability of 6, energy projection of 4.
How is durability not 7? He's immortal. Surely that's the most durable anyone could ever be.
He can't grow back limbs.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Asked and answered.
That's all he needed.
Energy projection of 4, fighting skills of 3, intelligence of 4, speed of 3, and strength of 5. So pretty like even across the board, honestly.
Pretty even
he's also,
for a spooky character.
For a spooky character, happy Halloween, ha 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 ha. He is also weak to fire as well. That's just a thing that he
makes sense. Is he weak to magic?
No, not really. Like he's about as weak as a regular human would be.
That's pretty weak to magic.
That's fair. But he's not like immediately defeated by it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if it's fire magic, fucking terrible. If it's death magic, he's pretty fine because he's dead already.
See, I'm just trying to think of he's immortal, you said, for all physical means. But I was like, how do you beat someone who can't be defeated physically? Would be magic. But if he's already dead, you can't kill him. You'd probably have to destroy him. Well,
that's the thing. Like you would have to destroy him to the point that he can't regenerate. Like the serum that he got basically keeps like his brain, his lungs, and his heart and probably his liver alive. Like, that's it. So if you destroy his brain, he's fucking gone. That's the thing.
You could Monty Python him and just take his arms and his legs. Like, he's still alive. He just can't move.
That's also a way to go. When he was arrested as part of Civil War, he was in a prison in the negative zone, and instead of bars, it was fire. So like, that's a way to keep him contained, basically. Like,
I love the fact that he picked a side in Civil War.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild that happened. Captain America rescued him from the negative zone.
Like, Tony Stark is back at base. He's like, oh fuck, they're after getting the mummy lad. Oh shit. He's unreal at the baits. He faces me on TV. We're fucked.
Who do I have? Spider-Man? Oh shit.
I fucking
he doesn't
Peter
stand
Parker.
a chance.
He's a fucking tick. He's a fucking tick, boys.
But that's the report on In Kantu, the Living Mummy, Connor.
Ooh,
spooky Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Is that Halloween worthy? I remember you did Jack-o'-lantern last year, and he's literally a pumpkin.
Yeah, he was perfect. He was ideal, wasn't he?
Yeah, but you already used
burnt him too early. Yeah. Well, let's do it again.
Let's do it and run it back.
To be fair, if anyone hasn't heard the Jack-o'-lantern report, that's a character that started out dumb and then got entirely fucked by the end. Like, it's twisted.
Are you sure it didn't finish dumb as well?
I think it might have finished dumb.
At the end.
He's a psychopath at the end. He pumpkin carved his family. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That'll do it.
Ooh, spooky levels. Sean, I think that character is the right level of spook for our show. I feel like you don't want to be. I'm a scaredy cat, so I don't want to be scared too much on a hero.
We were going to watch Annabelle for the Patreon, but Connor said no.
No scary movies, please. I'm scared.
Maybe Scary Movie. We could watch Scary Movie.
I will watch Scary Movie 2 the most.
Oh, I like Scary Movie 3 myself. But look, agree to disagree. Yeah.
How do you turn up missing?
I mean...
Well, you turn up and you're dead. No, you turn up missing. Never mind.
It's a good one. I know the line. I think that might be 4.
Oh, man, I don't know.
They all blur together. But anyway, comics.
Comics, man. Yeah. Do you want me to take us out, Sean?
Yes, please.
So if you enjoyed that show, we have got hundreds of Hero Zeros for many different DC and Marvel characters. Have a scroll through them. You might find one that you like, or maybe one you want to know more about. For example, for any upcoming movies, we've done the Eternals. Sean has done reports on most of the Eternals. And I of course have covered many DC characters, if that's what interests you as well. I recommend episode 3, Tim Drake. just for the scrolling.
Well, his favourite episode came within the first 3 weeks. What's that say for the rest of the show?
All downhill from there. All downhill. Also, by the way, I went back and heard that recently, and I was just like, I want to hear the sound difference. Way different.
Way different, I imagine.
Just
like
two
we didn't
of us
know what we were
doing. So, if you want to find more content of ours, we do also have a Patreon where we put extra movie reviews up every single month. This month's movie review will be of Blade to celebrate spooky season.
1998's Blade.
1998's Blade, which has CGI sometimes.
Does it?
Oh, does it? But yeah, that's coming up this weekend. It's $5 or more a month, and you basically get access to every movie review we've ever done up there for the last 2 years.
There's actually heaps now. There's about 2 years of reviews up there.
There's like a big collection of random reviews, and every single month you get to recommend a movie. So if there's a movie in particular you want us to review, just become a patron, send it in, we'll throw it into the hat.
But I'll be honest, guys, Real Steel has already been suggested, so no need to suggest any more movies, please.
No need. No more movies.
No more movies.
We're just going to do Real Steel, then Real Steel deleted scenes, then Real Steel, Hugh Jackman's commentary.
Oh, you know Hugh did a commentary. Oh, I bet it's charming.
And I bet it was lovely. Oh, lovely and charming is what it was. We also have a Twitter, which is at Heroes for Hire Pod. The 4 is the number 4. On Facebook, we have 2 pages. We've got the Heroes for Hire podcast page, and we've got our Detective Divilment's discussion group. if you want to head out over there, just have some chats. We just have a group of some of the divils that tune in, and we all just have assembled there. And you could also support the show by just, and this is very important. This is the most important.
Tell me more.
Lead forward. Just telling one human being that we exist, guys.
But correct me if I'm wrong here. Just the one, correct?
Just like if it's more than fucking one, I will hit the roof, Shaun. I will kick an orphan if it's more than one.
We shouldn't have moved him into that orphanage factory. Oh, it was a terrible decision.
The orphanage factory.
That's where they make orphans.
Does it produce orphans or orphanages?
It's both. It's a supply and demand kind of thing. So if you produce too many orphanages per month, you need, no one wants an empty orphanage. That's creepy.
But one full of crying kids, that's good.
That's it. Because they've just seen their parents killed via assembly line.
Maybe don't tell someone about it. No, it's a spooky show. We're allowed to.
We're allowed to talk about ghosts.
So, Shaun, I think that's it for this week's Hero Zero.
I think that's about it, Connor.
So I have been Ciara Lawler.
I have been Shaun Meehan.
And we shall see y'all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Or should I say boo?